Good morning, boys and girls. It's time now for Monday Morning Storyland.
WAFB'S 50th Anniversary Special Presentation, Growing Up with Buckskin Bill, The Storyland Legacy, is sponsored by Simple Simon, U.S. Agencies, the Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and Brack.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special program. I'm Paul Gates. If you grew up in the Baton Rouge area anytime from 1955 to 1990, you probably, well, you almost certainly watched two local children's television shows starring Buckskin Bill Black. Every weekday for almost 35 years, thousands and thousands of girls and boys within range of the WAFB Channel 9 TV signal watched Storyland in the morning and the Buckskin Bill Show in the afternoon, both broadcast live from this very studio. Storyland was created for preschoolers with educational concepts, many of them created by Buckskin Bill Black. The kids learned their ABCs, days of the week, learn how to tell time, things like that. Now, in the afternoon, the Buckskin Bill Show was a place where the children, maybe a little older, could actually come here to the studio and show off their own talents right here on local television. But the highlight of that morning program, Storyland, was everyone's favorite. It was a Monday morning activity called the Monday Morning March.
Stand by for the Monday Morning Storyland March!
We started the Storyland, and I went through the litany of Blue Monday and how people think of Monday. And you know, Monday is another day, and it's the beginning of a work week for many people, and tried to build a positive out of it. And I said, you know, why don't we have a parade?
Do we always do a march first on Monday morning? You're right. I'm going to cover up the stump here because I thought that the Storyland characters would like to march with us this morning. There we are. Now let's see. Oh yeah, the marching hat. See, every Monday morning we march in the Storyland cabin, and I put on a marching hat. Maybe you have a hat at home you like to call a marching hat. You can march with me at the home, or you can just watch here in the cabin if you want to. There's the marching hat, and here's our marching baton. And we put on our Storyland smile.
So we played it, and we did the Monday Morning March. And it was so good and good feeling, and it took about 6.5 minutes next Monday. We did another Monday Morning March, and the next Monday, and the next Monday, and the next Monday. And you can just tell when things catch on, and the Monday Morning March caught on. We did this for I don't know how long, and suddenly my conscience bothered me a bit. And so on a Monday, without anyone knowing, I said, well, we're going to change things up. This Monday, we are not going to do a Monday Morning March. We're going to do something else. I felt obligated and as an ethical entertainer to change the script a little bit. So we did something else. And about 6 minutes later, I look up and the switchboard operator is standing by the camera. It was a one-camera show. Patting her foot, literally. So I broke for a break, and she said, I don't care what you do on this television program. We have blown the switchboard. At that time, it was an old-fashioned rig, and if we received too many calls, we blew Baton Rouge General Hospital for some reason. The same thing could happen to us if they received too many calls. Said, you do the Monday Morning March. Mothers are calling, their children are crying, people are upset. Do the Monday Morning March. I said, yes, ma'am. When we came back on, I said, I made a mistake and changed my mind. Let's do the Monday Morning March. And we did, and did, and did every Monday morning that Storyland was ever on.
there's our Monday morning Storyland March, and look what we finished up with. Our sponsor.
It wasn't just the kids who loved the Monday morning march. Grown-ups loved it too. It was the place to be. From governors to mayors, even newspaper columnists, they were delighted to get an invitation to join the march.
I was an adult before I got to be on his show. He called me one day and he was having people come in to lead the Monday morning march. And that was, I gotta tell you, that was one of the most exciting days of my life. And you would not believe people I saw for days after that. Hey, I saw you leading the Monday morning march, you know. It made me a real celebrity. I was really, really thrilled about it.
And I knew every time I heard dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and then it was time to get going. So we do that for a couple of minutes, and it was just, what a great way to get the week started.
There was lots of fun and comedy on Storyland and the Buckskin Bill Black Show. And when we come back, we're going to give you a sample of some of the things that helped make those shows so popular.
It's the one and only
Señor Papito.
Oh, Senor Puppet, you know, just settle down.
Now, Storyland had a full roster of fun characters. What in the world is
What
that?
about me?
Ah,
What about me?
it's Senor Puppet.
Papito.
How are you, Senor Puppet?
Hello, Mr. Gates. You know, Buckskin always had more hair than you.
Oh, you're a funny guy still, Senor Puppet. And there's a story behind this gentleman. Here's Bill to tell us more.
The puppet was hanging there, so I picked the puppet up and said, well, hello, little puppet. And I don't know what all I said, but anyway, introduced the puppet. I think it was good for probably about 4 minutes. And inadvertently, during one of my sentences, I said, well, the puppet really isn't worth much because it cannot speak. Then over the airwaves came this little semi-falsetto Mexican dialect saying, oh, Senor Bill, I can speak too. And of course, I knew it was Sid.
People wanted to know, someone wanted our scripts, and we didn't have any scripts, and they said, you ought to script this. And we said, we don't script anything, we just start out. I either say something and Buck follows up with it, or he says something and I follow up with it, and we just go from there and see where it went. And sometimes it'd just go plunk. That's about as far as it'd go. And then other times we could keep it going.
Wait a minute. This could very well be...
Senor Papito, the greatest puppet in all the world.
Oh, now
Hi,
this
Senor
is
Bill.
silly. A Senor Puppet. This is ridiculous. We can't have a Senor Puppet.
We can have a Senor
But we reacted to each other and reacted to what was around us.
Puppets don't.
Boy,
What are
you
you
see
doing?
all the way through today. You washed them out real good this morning,
All right,
didn't you?
all right. Now look, we have a lot of
Hey,
people.
Senor Bill, did you see Senor Sid?
Yes, I saw Sid Crocker. He was
He's
here.
all dressed up.
Yeah, he had on a
He looked like
tuxedo.
a fat penguin.
Yeah.
I think one of the funniest you ever did, and we can do that even, I know you're basso profundo now, but remember when you used to, I would say, Senor Puppet, you appear to be a little worried, and you would say, I'm afraid you're going to forget me.
Oh, yes.
Let's do that with that little bit. I'd say, Senor Puppet, you appear to be a little nervous or not quite your usual bubbly self.
I'm afraid you're going to leave me, Senor Bill.
I'm going to leave you?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'll never leave you, and I'll never forget you. I'll never, never, never forget you.
You never forget me?
Oh, Senor Puppet, how could I, with all the television programs we've enjoyed together, I'll never forget you.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I told you you'd forget. I told you you'd forget.
Now, the most special thing I could think of would be to say,
Hold the show.
Hold the show.
Hold the
Oh,
show.
no.
This is, whoa, wait a minute, quit, stop. Hold the show. Wait a minute.
all right,
Whoa,
all right,
wait,
all right.
whoa,
Wait, now wait a minute, Senor Puppet. I was just talking to the boys and girls and saying, let's do something meaningful. What do you have to say that's meaningful? this
Nothing
morning?
is meaningful. Would you please get off my little foot?
Oh,
That's smart.
all right. Now,
Brings
don't
tears
start.
to your eyes.
All right.
You gotta do
The
flat
puppet got so strong that we had a manager down there one time that wouldn't even go on the air, didn't want him on the air. Remember Dwight? When he decided
Forgotten about that.
he didn't want him on the air and they had to stop him. And he said because if it's getting too strong, and thought he was going to have to pay me a bunch of money.
Well, I'm not going to comment on on that area. How long did we let the chairman of the board keep the puppet off the program? Not very long, I don't think.
48 hours.
Okay.
Hey, quite a story. All right, Senor Puppet, are you happy now?
See, but Senor Bill still has more hair than you.
Next, we'll find out how much a penny is worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baton Rouge needs a zoo.
For 15 years, Buckskin Bill ended every single show by reminding us that Baton Rouge needed a zoo, until finally we got one. It was Easter Sunday in 1970. The Greater Baton Rouge Zoo officially opened its gates with Buckskin Bill as the guest of honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baton Rouge needs a zoo.
I said, you know, it'd be good if Baton Rouge had a zoo. So I closed every program on the end of it by saying, and
Remember, Baton Rouge needs a zoo. Bye-bye from the Storyland Cabin.
And we did that for years and years and years. The grown-ups have passed the money to build us a zoo. Why don't we buy the biggest animal in the zoo? We'll buy an elephant.
He came up with the idea of the elephant walk, and so that again promoted one of the first animals for the new Baton Rouge Zoo.
Watching what he was doing with that elephant walk and that promoting the zoo like that, that was just a one-man effort, and he just decided this was a good thing for Baton Rouge, and he went out after it in the most clever way possible, because he got the kids involved. And you get the kids involved, of course, you get the mamas and daddies and grandmas and grandpas involved. And those pennies added up. It was an extraordinary thing. I've never seen anything like that generated by one person that's had more impact on the community.
Well, I guess I was 6 or 7, which is quite a while ago. But me and my brothers and my sisters, we all came down, and my older brother, who's now a doctor, was a little embarrassed to go on, so I got to dump his pennies as well as mine.
I went to St. Joseph's Academy, and I went on the Buckskin Bill show. We were with the Brownie Troupe.
Okay.
And I was 8 years old, and we all went and put our pennies in, and every time I come to the zoo, I look at the elephants, and I think, I helped buy the first elephant.
And it became popular and very popular and very popular, and all of a sudden the safe was full. So we opened it up on television. The sight totally shocked me. All those thousands of pennies cascading out. We did this a few months, and all of a sudden we had the money, about $3,500 to buy an elephant. So I said to the audience, well, we have enough money to buy the elephant. The elephant walk is over. Here came the switchboard operator from the front again during the commercial break, tapping that foot, saying, people are calling up all over. They want to be a part of the elephant walk, and you've stopped it before they had a chance to be on the elephant walk. I said, you're right. So when we got back on TV, I said, we'll continue the elephant walk another 3 weeks. We were doing 30 minutes a day at that time. We expanded the television program to an hour, and for 1 hour, except for our commercial breaks, we played Lawrence Welk's Elephant Walk back to back, and people came from all over. Children with piggy banks, as they would dump those in, sometimes I would wonder, are we doing the right thing? So they came, and then we had enough money to buy 2 elephants because the children bought them. We named one Penny, the other one Penny 2.
It just was a tremendous time for us at Breck and for the children to get one of the most attractive things that Breck has in their park system today.
In addition to the zoo, the Buckskin Bill Show collected trading stamps and cash to help buy a seaplane for missionary work, collected aspirin for the sick in the Amazon jungle, and it was the first local children's program to use a sign language interpreter. And these are just some of the reasons Buckskin Bill Black was awarded the Golden Deeds Award in 1975. Coming up, everyone loved the games on Storyland, but did you realize they were teaching you something?
4, 5, 6, 7. If you guessed 7, then you guessed right. Let you
hear how all 7 sound again.
You may not have realized it when you were a child, but Buckskin and his friends were always teaching you lessons with their stories and games.
Holy golly. We might have a tape of that
Here
we
you
might be able to
go.
find.
No, we got to play.
Listen. Holly Gully. How many?
Holy Gully is a game in which you make a sound. This is a sound game. Gross sounds are very important. Children become aware in the spatial relations. Spatial relations means the things around us. So if you can hear those, the way you play Hully Gully, you shake them up and you say, Hully Gully.
Handful.
How many?
How many?
With Buckskin, it was a learning game for each and every child. And so it was educational, but we didn't know we were being educated by watching him.
Now, what made these seemingly simple shows so important to the children of Baton Rouge? Why have these memories stayed in their hearts and minds for so long?
Well, I think we were real, and we were live, and we were the only thing they could watch. There weren't any other programs.
You know, a chance to get on TV was a big deal. But Bill respects kids. I think that's what makes him so unique and his show such a long-running, successful show. You could tell, you know, a lot of kid show hosts, you know, laugh at the kids, and he always laughed with the kids, and he believed that they were people too, and they were smart enough to know that he cared about them and respected them, and I think this really showed it. I think it's why he's so beloved in Baton Rouge.
Buckskin didn't care how silly it was. It didn't matter if all of us went in different directions, if we didn't catch batons when they came back down, if we couldn't remember what to do, or if one cried. He was there to applaud you and to cheer you on and say, good job, good job.
What are you doing?
I'm reading some more mail here. We have a get well to Chad and Chet Brannon. They just got home from the hospital where they had their tonsils taken out.
Get well to you, whoever you are and wherever you live. If we don't know your name and you're sick, we're thinking about you this very minute.
I remember one day on the Buckskin Bill show, for some reason I was in my office, and it was about 10 minutes before the show went on the air, and the telephone rang at my desk, and I picked it up. And I said, hello, and a little child's voice I could hear say, hi, Buckskin. I said, hi. Something about that child's voice. That child said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. I'm getting ready to be on TV now. We're going to do the Buckskin Bill show. He said, I won't see it today. I said, oh, why? And he said, my daddy died. I'm across the street. They didn't want me to call you, but I knew you'd want to know. He was at Ravenhorst at the wake with his father. And I said, yeah, gee, I'm glad you called. I said, you suppose any of them would bring you over here? I know you don't want to celebrate or anything, but you'd certainly be welcome to come. And sure enough, they brought the lad over, and I've often thought how often we dismiss things or fluff people off or shut off a communication. And if I had shut that one off, boy, that would have been disastrous.
Shows how much the show meant to the children. It was, they're still talking about it today. They're in their 40s now. The younger ones are maybe older. But they felt close to you. They felt close to the show. They felt a part of it. It was like part of an extension of their family. The characters, and they were allowed to be on it. They were a part of it.
We were just there and we were happy. And Buckskin was there to make us happy.
We hope we've revived some pleasant memories for you this evening, and we'll hope you'll continue to watch throughout this year as we bring you more special 50th anniversary programming. I'm Paul Gates. Thank you for watching.
Buckskin Bill, this song's for you. You're our hero still today. You taught us to march on Monday mornings to chase the blues away. You watched us grow while we watched your show, and we learned buckskin style to obey our parents, and we're never quite dressed till we put on a smile. Buckskin Bill, Buckskin Bill. I love you still and I always will, Buckskin Bill.
This WAFB 50th Anniversary Special Presentation was sponsored by Simple Simon, U.S. Agencies, the Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and BRAC.